everyone, thanks for joining us. It's the E3 Canadian Geekcast. I'm joined here with Steph and Dennis. We just actually finished watching the Sony E3 press conference, so we're just going to kind of give some of our thoughts about what we saw. It was actually a bit shorter than I think we all expected, especially kind of with the supposed hype that was going to be around Sony's. I think I think we were kind of expecting at least to be 90 minutes, but we just broke an hour. Well, no, less than an hour, because if we take it, that really weird
intermission. With that, it was like maybe 70 minutes at best. Maybe less than that.
No, it started 9 on the dot and it ended at 10:10. But they did have a bunch of talking and stuff, so.
Yeah, there's a good 10-15 minutes of talking at the least. So
so it might not even been an hour.
Yeah, but so what did you think about what we saw there, Dennis? This one's kind of your camp, so why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I think it was one of the weaker PlayStation conferences in recent memory. As far as the PS4 generation, this is probably the weakest one, I would say, because looking at the list, because I wrote down like all the games that were shown, and like there was only like 2 new games, and that was like that was Neo 2. What else? Oh, there was Control.
There was the Ghost in Tsushima, or
that was announced though last year.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Paris Games Week.
Oh.
Gotcha.
So like nothing really new. I'm kind of shocked that like nothing like Final Fantasy VII Remake was there.
I was especially shocked because that's what I was calling for. Yeah.
I was like, I knew they were gonna be like, what? We didn't mention it. Nope.
No. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII. What is that? I knew it. I called it.
That's true. Yes.
Oh wait, I want to correct myself. There was a third game. It was Resident Evil 2 Remake.
So, right. Yeah. Steph, what are some of your thoughts on what we saw?
Boy, do I love me some Sony the movie. I mean, honestly, I think what makes and breaks Sony is like the strength of their games, because they don't really bring anything personal to their conferences. Like most of the others, like bring someone on from the dev team or like from the producer or something, like and they talk about the game and they make it a little bit more personal. They put a face to the game. They talk about how excited they are. This is like very impersonal. Like here's a trailer, and trailer, with the exception of that weird, like we had them starting off in what they were calling the church. And then there was this super long like break between that and between what they were showing next, and it just felt so drawn out to me. Like I'm sure it's fun if you were there on the grounds. Like I was seeing pictures, they had all these like sceneries and stuff as you were like walking from one to the next, but to the listeners and the watchers, it was just long. Like at least in other ones it's like broken up in between, and again it feels more personable because it's like by the developers instead of just 3 Sony representatives. I just felt like the pacing was really weird, and I didn't really understand the whole clips of, is it Dreams you said, Dennis?
Yeah, it's Dreams.
Yeah, these like short little clips of like 2 to 3 seconds, and it just switched to like zombies like ripping out a guy's neck. It just gave me whiplash. Like
there was no continuity at all.
No.
It didn't even, like, the dream clips didn't even lead to anything. No. It was just there for the sake of being there.
Yeah.
Oh, and also shout out to me for basically calling the Death Stranding thing, in which he just left us with more questions than we do answers. I mean, we got the gameplay, so I was wrong about that. But with the gameplay they showed, I don't think we have any more answers as to what the game actually is or what you do in it.
I think we have more questions now.
Yeah. I would say that's a pretty safe bet. Like it's just
bless that brilliance.
Do we
of his?
When is this game slated to come out?
Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
We have no idea.
There's no release yet.
We still don't have a release yet. Wow.
No. I would assume that maybe for the Game Awards, because Kojima and Jeff Keighley are tight, so I would assume just for him he would get the release date at the Game Awards, but nothing yet so far.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to tune into the Game Awards and see if we can get any more info. Or yet another weird trailer that just doesn't answer anything.
I mean, they probably have lots, so.
I mean, we got Baby Bones, so what, 10 out of 10 Goldblums? Like,
we did.
Yeah. I definitely rank this one over EA and the Square Enix one for sure. Because both. Like
Squeenix,
Squeenix was just
bad. That was just not a good conference for them at all.
It wasn't really a conference, really. It was just a rehash, and maybe just like two things, and I really didn't know what those were. So
at least Sony had some talking. Square Enix was literally just trailer after trailer. Oh wait, no, they had that Star Fox thing, right?
Yeah,
that was about it.
Well, that was Ubisoft.
No, that was Ubisoft. Well,
that was Ubisoft.
Phoenix did nothing then. They just
Square had they had people talking about the Lara Croft, and there's another game that as well they had some talking about, but yeah,
not much. It was not a good conference, but EA I mean, I'm still not mad at EA just because they owned up to their mistakes, and I felt like they were a little bit more in tuned. So I want to give them the points for that. Whereas Sony, to me, it was okay. Like I said, I definitely by far think it was the weakest one they've had in several years.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, back to Sony. Is there any one big game that kind of stood out to you guys?
I mean, there was like some announcements, like during the intermission, they announced like God of War was getting new Game Plus, but that's not really much of a announcement. That's like an update, but yeah. Because I'm looking through the list, so like Last of Us Part 2 started, then the intermission, God of War, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, and they announced Ops 3 was available free with PlayStation Plus. Then they quickly went through like Tetris Effect, Days Gone, Twin Mirrors, Ghost Giant, Best Beat Saber, and then they showed off a little kind of cool cinematic trailer of Destiny 2 Forsaken. So, and then they had like a really cool demo of Ghost of Tsushima. That I like that, but I'm already into that, so it really didn't matter that much. And after that, they had the Dreams clipping. And then after that, that control game was trippy, man.
True. I forgot about Control.
It was.
Bless. Okay.
Yeah, because I think when it was first shown, we were like, is this Inception, the video game or something?
I think Steph was that, or was it Dennis that said you got a real Quantum Break vibe?
That was Dennis.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I mean, it makes sense because it's coming from Remedy.
Yeah.
My thought was that we were going to see it was going to be Quantum Break 2, because that had been rumored to be in development and was going to be coming to PlayStation. But no, this that one just seemed really kind of interesting. And I'm curious what the story behind that one is, because it looks like you get to even bend time and space a bit with that one. So.
Yeah, I'd say. Before you reminded me that Control happened, I was going to say Beat Saber or the Tetris game, because those are the only ones. Everything else is too gory and gross for me. I can't really handle that, especially as we get into the more high def stuff. Like, it's just a hard no thank you for me. But yeah, the Control looked really, really good. And Beat Saber, just now I need VR, because before I was like, oh, I really want it, but I can't afford the PC and the Oculus. Now it's like, oh, now I can just, because I wanted to replace my PlayStation 4 anyways. So doing that and then getting the PSVR is way cheaper. So
if you guys had to pick, if you had to pick a low point in for this this presentation, what would you say your low point was?
The 1,500 minutes of talking. And
yeah, I think it's easy just to say the intermission was the low point, because that's when the pace of the conference was like it just went out the window. I went into another room.
Yeah.
No, that was 100% it. Because like everything else, I think the games themselves are strong. They're all beautiful. I'm sure they will play well. It's just they're not to my taste. So I wouldn't necessarily call them a low point. But for sure, the intermission, just the pacing screwed it all up. How about you, Matt?
Yeah. I'm in complete agreement with you there. It's just that I don't know.
At least we got a new Kingdom Hearts trailer instead of the same one for like 3 conferences in a row.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, featured Pirates of the Caribbean, and that looks good because it doesn't look as wonky as Pirates of the Caribbean looked in Kingdom Hearts 2. It looks like, it looks like Pirates of the Caribbean, but in 3D. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked beautiful.
Yeah. I wonder if do you think we'll? Because if I were to get if someone like me who's never played a Kingdom Hearts game, I think Steph, you said that you played 20 minutes of the first one, something like that. Do you think we'll ever see Kingdom Hearts the first couple leave the PlayStation and
oh, okay,
and join another console?
I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is your first taste.
No, I think it's gonna stay on PlayStation. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think he is. But they did go to Nintendo, did it not, Dennis?
There were handheld games for Nintendo, but not like the core. Like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2.
Yeah.
Not the core ones, but there were
Chain of Memories, I think.
There were a few
on one.
Yeah, and then that got remade in PS2.
Mirror something, wasn't that one?
Look, there's 18. Like, we can't keep track of this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I will never
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts and between Kingdom Hearts and Kojima, they're just 2 levels of just WTF. Like, I don't even want to try understand it. I'll just leave it in its beautiful, wonderful weirdness. Because from the last trailers of Kingdom Hearts, I realized that they've introduced this weird digital world, and there's people inside of people, but I don't know. I again maybe played about 20 minutes.
I even think they kind of try to write that one off, because when they did I think it was either 1.5 or 2.5, and they did a movie and they didn't really bring it go into it that much, but it was weird. I didn't play that one, to be honest. I don't think I think the only handheld one was Birth by Sleep, and that's it.
Yeah, I think they've got a huge challenge ahead for them in making the story make sense to people who haven't played all 18. Despite, I know they've got 1.5 and 2.5, and that's supposed to bridge it, but there's no way they covered all of the plot points in 1.5 and 2.5. So they either slash a good amount of the story, or there'll be snippets of things that doesn't really matter if you miss it if you've not played previous versions. But they kept introducing characters, and I'm I don't know who this is. Am I supposed to?
Yeah, because Josh was talking about Kingdom Hearts as well, about getting to understand the story. He was hoping maybe there's a recap to make it easier for newcomers to understand the story, but
there's no way.
I don't know. It's there's no way.
We'll just have to watch some YouTube videos.
Yeah, some guy explaining the whole story in 50 minutes video.
I think I once sent you guys the timeline thing. It was where they were trying to fit all of the 18 games into a storyline and in chronological order, and it's just it's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah. I mean, there's even a mobile game that's the earliest Kingdom Hearts game, and it's just it's so weird.
Kingdom Hearts is one of those, again, wonderfully wacky, this shouldn't have happened, but it did.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to discuss?
Nope. I mean, there was Neo 2. I don't really care about that kind of Dark Soulish type of games.
Yeah.
And then it ended with Spider-Man. That was cool. Like there was almost like a Sinister Six kind of meetup at the end.
That animation in the Spider-Man game, like during the gameplay, oh, that was so smooth. So smooth. That looks so nice.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how it actually runs on the average Joe's machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on my machines. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, like I said during the conference, it seems that this generation of games, the ones that are coming out like by the end of this year and into 2019, are really going to push the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro and even the Switch to an extent as well. And I think we're finally going to actually see what these systems are really capable of. You know, regardless of what camp you're in, this is definitely a really good, I guess, year for games. Especially, you know, some of the stories are pretty awesome as well. It's kind of nice to see a little bit of a departure from the typical one-man army shoot 'em up type game that seemed to kind of flood the market for a while there. So it's kind of nice to see something a little different.
It's kind of interesting because I felt like in each of the conferences they each had they fell into a genre. Like this PlayStation one was definitely a more single player zombie / ultra violent camp, and there wasn't a whole lot of other stuff. Like there's a little bits of sprinkling, but I say like a large majority of it was that. And I think EA was it was sports or it was first person shooters. A lot of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. It's interesting that in individual conferences, there's not a whole lot of variety, with the exception of like PC gaming and Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Though I guess.
Yeah.
Who was there earlier today? Help. Was it Ubi? Ubi was okay.
Ubi's. Yeah, Square Enix then Ubi. Ubi was okay as well. Like
Ubi was.
I think I was only into like the Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That really had me going.
But yeah, Sony I thought was a lot of similar types of games, which was for me disappointing because again, it's not my cup of tea. But it sounds like
also, it feels like it was kind of lacking. It was missing something for it to feel like a full show. It feels like this is half of what the show should have been.
It
I think it's just because it was nothing but trailers and gameplay samples.
But there was no more reveals of Spyro. We could have seen more of that. We could have, we could have seen some Final Fantasy of anything, expansions, DLC, anything. Even for 15, I don't think we saw anything for Final Fantasy 15.
They could have showed a trailer for those new episodes, the season 2 episodes that they're coming out with. Yeah, I don't know.
I was kind of surprised. It felt like they didn't, in the 90 minutes they gave us, they didn't show us a whole lot.
That's very true. Yeah.
Well, let's just hope that maybe Nintendo can end us on a great way. But let's not say that.
Well, I saw this GIF.
I'm kind of hopeful. So.
I saw this GIF of it was everyone else at this table or whatever, and it was PlayStation, Xbox, and whatever, and all this stuff on the table, and it's just Smash Brothers walks in and just pushes them all out the way.
Oh yeah, it was the Seinfeld one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
It was the Risk episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. One. I feel like that's gonna happen.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, we'll see Smash, we'll see Metroid, and who knows what else. But that'll be a discussion for another time.
Indeed.
For after the next one. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
No, that's about it.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for tuning into this quick E3 Sony recap episode. Be sure to tune into the stream tomorrow. What time? What time's the stream going to be tomorrow?
1 p.m. PST. Or no, EST.
Yeah.
1 p.m. EST.
I thought it was at noon.
Was it noon?
Noon EST because it's 10 a.m. for me. Yeah, so it'll be at noon Eastern time. So you can tune in. You can catch that on mixer.com/Canadian Geek CST. Who's going to be on that stream?
I'm going to be on it.
I think it's just going to be Dennis.
It'll just be the Dennis
Steve.
show. So be sure to tune into the stream if you want to, or you can grab the post stream or the post conference discussion on your podcast app, which will probably come out later that night because I'm going to be going to see Avengers. Finally going to see Avengers. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be coming out later tomorrow night. So and that'll be on the Canadian Geekcast.
Bye.